Be Marsh Boxing, what's happening, world? The purses have been revealed. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, the rematch. Both guys will be taking in a nice amount of paper. Both guys well deserved. They splitting it down the middle, 50-50. Ain't no A side, B side, none of that. No 70-30 gluttonous mentality. No, sir. Wilder and Fury want to fight each other. The best want to face the best. And they are number one and two heavyweights on the planet, respectfully. Neither of them have a loss. Neither of them have been battered around the ring and got their ass handed to them. So it's only right that they are recognized as number one and number two. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, the lineal title will be on the line for this particular fight. But let's get into the purses. Wilder, Fury are going to make a nice payday. Both are guaranteed $5 million each. Both guys are getting a higher payday than they did in their first fight. In the first fight, Wilder was guaranteed $4 million, and Tyson Fury was guaranteed $3 million. Overall, with pay-per-view sales, gate revenue, etc., and the percentage, Wilder took home over $14 million for the first fight, and Tyson Fury took home more than $10 million. Well, it's safe to say that those prices are going to almost double those purses for the rematch. Deontay Wilder $5 million, Tyson Fury $5 million, but both are guaranteed more than $25 million apiece, plus percentages of any pay-per-view profits. Ooh, that sounds real good for him. Well deserved, you know what I mean? Tyson Fury got his highest payday of his career when he fought Deontay Wilder in the first fight. Looks like Tyson Fury will be getting his highest payday of his career ever in this rematch. And so with Wilder. So the corny ass Wilder hater channels who are up in arms, everybody's excited about this fight, but there's some channels out here who seem like they still on their menstrual cycle and they up in arms about this fight. And they're even debating if they'll watch it. Who the fuck are you fooling, man? You know you're gonna watch it. People out here lame as fuck, man. Lame as fuck, man. I wouldn't even hand y'all no crutches, man. I'll let y'all limp down the street and crawl on your back like a caterpillar, 'cause y'all fellas out here, man. Fellas are so in their feelings about this fight. When the man Anthony Joshua is most likely going to face Pulev in his next fight, which I'm not mad at. He got to fulfill mandatory obligations. But don't be mad at me or don't be mad at Wilder if AJ's fights is not creating a buzz like this Tyson Fury versus Wilder rematch. You know what I'm saying? These channels out here, they've been faking on Wilder, and they still talking about money and still like the only advantage they have right now or leverage to front like Anthony Joshua is better than every heavyweight that's out there right now is the fact that he makes money. So what, man? You can't take that money with you when we talk about legacy. A lot of people, when they talk about Floyd Mayweather's legacy, for the most part, it's not money that comes up first. You know what I'm saying? It's not money that comes up first. It's his legacy, what he's done inside the ropes, inside the ring. So this news has been reported by Kevin Ioli from Yahoo Sports, also Dan Raphael from ESPN Boxing. And it's a good thing that both guys are getting nice paydays. So whoever wins this fight will be bona fide even bigger paydays going forward. And all that 70-30 leverage tactics that Anthony Joshua's doing, that shit ain't gonna hold. It's not gonna fly for too long, you know what I mean? Deontay Wilder's doing this thing. You guys are dummies. Just last year, Deontay Wilder was declared the third most richest boxer of the year behind Canoli and Anthony Joshua. What you thought, man? You thought Deontay Wilder's gonna go backwards? It's boxing, just like any career. You know what I mean? You do what you have to do. You're gonna progress in your career. You're gonna move up the ladder. You're gonna get more bonuses and or raises. Fellas thought Deontay Wilder would be stuck on that 1 million they kept talking about from like 5, 6, 7 years ago when he was fighting the likes of Bermain Stavern. No sir, it's a new age and day, baby boys. 2020. Deontay Wilder's making power moves. So is Tyson Fury, and made the best man win. But at the end of the day, guys are getting paid. It's funny how these channels out here, these lame channels, was out here fronting like Deontay Wilder talking about, oh, Bob Arum and them, they took a loss. PBC, they took a loss, uh, spending all that money for Deontay Wilder for a Super Bowl commercial. And let me tell y'all this, for the most part, these channels talking that goofy nut ass shit, they not even from USA, man. I think they got their information without doing their research, just from what they heard. And look, man, that could get you in trouble out here, man. You know what I'm saying? That could get you trouble taking word from another man and running with it without doing your homework. You know what I'm saying? I seen fellows get exposed. You know what I mean? It was a verbal expose of fellas out here on these YouTube streets running with another man's word before doing their own homework, and then they get exposed, man. They get put on the chopping block and get decapitated and shit, man. Hey, man, couldn't be me. You know what I mean? Before I jump out there and take another man's word on anything, I'm gonna do my own homework. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for anybody who also listen to my channel. You know what I mean? Can't take anything I say for face value, even though B Marsh don't lie for nothing. Shit, I don't even gotta lie to a broad to get some punani. You know what I mean? Let alone lie to fellas on these YouTube streets. About anything concerning boxing. If I gotta lie about a particular fighter, that actually really shows, you know what I'm saying, some insecurities that you have about your particular fighter. You know what I'm saying? That you have to lie just to make yourself feel warm and cozy inside. You know what I mean? So, like I said, man, fellas been taking their advice from probably channels that hate on Wilder here in the United States, talking about they failed and they lost money with them Super Bowl commercials. Where's the proof? How you figure, man? Do you know how much they're charging at the MGM to even enter the venue to watch one of these fights? Man, y'all fellas gonna have to save up for a whole year just to be able to make it to the MGM Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Let alone fly from your own country, wherever that may be, across the pond, South America. Fellas think people out here dummies, man. Acting like y'all came over here to the USA to watch these big fights. I've been to big fights. I've been in the MGM to watch Floyd. Cost me a pretty penny, but that's the fight game, man. It's Las Vegas, dogs. You better come there with some paper. Otherwise, you just gonna be rolling the strip, walking the strip up and down. You know what I'm saying? With the beer that costs probably like $6 for a Budweiser in your hand. You know what I mean? And can't be taking your advice from these channels out here who don't have boxing at interest. Their interest is to make views on YouTube, and they found an angle to hate on a particular fighter. It's a damn shame that fellas gotta sell their soul to go out like that to make their channel basically a hate channel to just basically get views and subscribers. And most of these channels, if you're a hate channel, more than likely you harbor a lot of racists in your comment section and or viewers, you know what I mean? I've seen it before. I've seen it in the comment sections, you know what I mean? And I'm not even going to talk about I'm not the Anthony Joshua hate channels because I wouldn't know which those are. Ain't no channel I listen to hates on Anthony Joshua. But shit, it's just be channels that I'm still subscribed to out of respect that be hating on Wilder all day, every day, you know what I mean? But all they gonna do is eat their words, just be miserable with their hate channels. What's up with you, Hop? Hop's my guy in the chat. Big up, my G. What's up with you, Hop? He says, good morning, B. Marsh. Boxing question. Deontay's 34. When do expect him to start showing signs of aging, even small ones? Deontay Wilder is 34, but remember, he didn't start boxing until he was 19. Had a short-lived amateur career, went to the Olympics with very few fights. You know, it was remarkable. It's a miracle that he made it to the Olympics from where he started boxing within a year and a half of starting his his amateur journey. He was a bronze medal Olympian. Deontay Wilder hasn't really gone through many wars, if any, as a boxer. You know what I mean? He's got clipped by a few fighters here and there from Spilka, not Spilka, excuse me, Molina, Duhaupas, um, Luis Ortiz, but he hasn't taken no prolonged beating in this fight game. And heavyweight fighters, you know, they tend to mature in their mid 30s, really and truly. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Guys could be in their 20s and they could be vulnerable. You know, Muhammad Ali was a great fighter, and he never really got the opportunity. We never got the opportunity to see him really fulfill his whole 20s because of the draft, draft situation where they took all his titles away from him because he didn't participate for the U.S. Army. You know what I mean? But for the most part, guys take losses in their 20s and their heavyweights, and then they come back and they recoup, and then they work their way back up and they figure out the fight game. You know what I mean? Vitaly Klitschko, Vladimir Klitschko, these guys lost in their 20s, in their 30s. These guys were pretty unstoppable. Same with Lennox Lewis, you know what I mean? Got his first loss in his 20s to Oliver McCall, you know what I mean? And he kept it pushing, and he got one KO in his 30s by Hasim Rahman. But at the end of the day, even when Lennox Lewis retired, when he fought the man Vitaly Klitschko, he wasn't in shape. He wasn't taking that guy serious, and he still handled his business. I just think Wilder is a professional athlete who stays in shape, hasn't gone through too many wars, so I don't think age is a factor as of yet. I haven't seen any signs of any deterioration or him slipping. You know what I mean? If anything, I've seen improvement. So I think he still has a good 5 years left in him. At 34, I think he could retire by the time he's 38 years old, 39, and he'll be okay. Hop says, I'll watch in your previous breakdown video. Thanks a lot, man. Salute, hit the thumbs up, and thanks for checking out the prediction. Zaza Silly, what's up with you, big man? He says, Zaza Silly, good dude, man. Salute. He says it's unfortunate when people begrudge their fighters their paydays. These men are literally fighting for their money, but when has a hater needed to hate? Big up, B. Marshall. It's I never understood it either. I could care less what fighters make. You know what I mean? As far as look, I want every fighter to get compensated well for getting snuffed in the face, getting punched for our entertainment. You know what I'm saying? But if fighter A makes 300K for the year, but fighter B makes 3 million or 30 million for that matter, what does that mean? They're not supposed to fight each other and they're number 1 and number 2 in the division? That's not what I'm about. But a lot of these channels out here who don't want to see their favorite fighter in any confrontation or in any fight that could jeopardize their career, possibly get knocked out or beat. That's the old protection strategy in boxing. You know what I mean? Oh, he don't make enough. Nobody knows him. Ricky Hatton did the same with Junior Witter. In England. You know what I'm saying? With Ricky Hatton, making the significant amount of big fights over there in the UK as far as, home attendance in Manchester and filling crowds and being a very popular, pulverizing figure in England. Junior Witter was just another champion or title holder in England, but he was in the same division as the man Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton ain't never give that man an opportunity for a unification. That leverage would only give the man, if he beat Junior Witter, Ricky Hatton, more leverage as far as more paydays. You're a unified champ, higher pound for pound status, etc. But he wasn't with it. It wasn't worth risking his O at the time to fight Junior Witter. And that's what I don't like, you know what I mean? I'm not with that because of a guy's pay scale that they shouldn't fight each other. At the end of the day, like I said, I don't care what fellas make. I just want to see the fights. Why am I making this video about the purses? Because both guys are making a nice amount of money, their biggest paydays of their career. And this is also, a slap in the face to all these fighters who are out here, like you said, for our entertainment, as a silly, getting punched in the face. And what's the point of begrudging them when they're entertaining you, whether you love them or hate them? If you really do not like a fighter and are disgusted by them, just don't watch them. Don't talk about them, man. Jesus Christ, man. Young fellas trying to die early. Stress is the number one killer on planet Earth. You know what I mean? What's the point of getting stressed out in a sport that's supposed to be for entertainment purposes? To bring you, to escape the realities of the world for that, 36 minutes of a particular 12-round bout. You know what I mean? You check it, so it behooves me, and I don't understand it. But at the end of the day, man, haters gonna hate. Not everybody's gonna be pleased with everything. There's always gonna be people who find something to bitch about with stuff that they don't like. But hey, that's their own problem. But at the end of the day, like I said, Canoli was the number one highest paid fighter for 2019. Anthony Joshua number two. Wilder number three. Wilder's only gonna go up, just like those other guys, Canoli and or Wilder. I'm sorry, Anthony Joshua should their pay scale should only get bigger if they keep doing what they're supposed to. You know what I mean? Just like anybody at the workplace, at the career. If at your career you're gonna get bonuses and or raises if you're doing what you're supposed to do and doing a better job than what you were previously. You know what I mean? Yes, indeed. What's up with you? Hops in the chat says, by the way, for only the second time, I'm going to watch this fight in the movie theater on the big screen. Going with a couple boxing friends. Should be a fun outing. That's what's up, man. Hopefully, you go to you go to one of those theaters that I hear there be movie theaters out here these days with like couches and they give you blankets and it's just like a home experience watching the movies at your house, you know what I mean? And they got waiters and waitresses that bring you drinks and or food. If that's the one you're gonna go to, you guys gonna enjoy a hell of a fight on the big screen. I've never really been to a movie theater to watch boxing. I've watched them at home or I watch them live in the arena. But to be honest, I prefer, unless you're ringside really and truly, where blood and sweat could probably splash on you, like them type of seats announcers have on the front row over there. I think that's the best view you could ever get at a boxing match. But besides that, to me, the best view is watching at home on the big screen. You know what I mean? I love going to fights, and I go to fights. That's how I support boxing. Going to fights live and putting some money in these fighters' pockets. You know what I mean? Paying at the gate, whatever. And the experience of sitting around boxing people who watch boxing whom you don't know and get into conversations of boxing is priceless. Because only time I really get to talk boxing with people on planet Earth is here on this YouTube shit. As far as knowledgeable people of the sport, you know what I mean? Not people who just pick so and so to win because they don't like uh, this particular fighter. You know what I mean? When you go to the fights, you get the conversations with people who know the sport. Some more than others. You might know more than everybody. Usually happens when I go to these fights. Get the conversation, and that's always fun. You know what I mean? I like to test people, see what they know. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was at the Uskata Gay versus um, Andre Durrell fight. You know what I mean? I was like, wow, this the second time this guy Andre Durrell gonna do that stuff, man. Fake it like he's severely hurt, man, like he's disoriented and drowsy from a late punch, so he could get out the fight. Some of the people around me didn't know that Andre Durrell had pulled this move before. Then we get to talking. Hey, have you guys seen Andre Durrell versus Arthur Abraham? Oh, no, I haven't seen it. Oh, yeah, I remember that fight, Showtime. So it's fun, man. I remember when I was seeing around Adrian Broner versus Ashley Theophane. I went to that fight in D.C., and that D.C. Armory was sold out. Tank Davis was on the undercard. Robert East was on the undercard. Rick Ross was in the building. At the time, that rapper named Designer from Brooklyn, who had that Panda song, was popping, and he came and brought AB to the ring. It was a star-studded event at the DC Armory. There was people outside. The jail was sold out. They were begging, especially bras, women, girls, uh, young ladies. They was begging to get up in the arena. Oh, they was trying to buy tickets by any means necessary. I've been had my ticket, so I just strolled in and walked through. You know what I mean? Um, Damn, what the hell was my point? What the hell was my point? Um, oh yeah, now seated, cause there was a lot of Cincinnati people in the house. AB's people, Robert Easter, people who drove from Cincinnati, Ohio to Washington D.C. to support their guys. And hey, man, you know what I'm saying? These guys, man, these guys were some serious dudes, man. You could tell these guys were not playing. Like, these guys were some serious cats that I was talking to, you know what I mean? Like, you could tell from their aura. These guys are not just no regular boxing fans. Yeah, they came to support their guys from Cincinnati, but these guys get busy, you know what I mean? But real recognize real, you know? Been there, done that, you know what I'm saying? So it was nice having a conversation with them, but these guys weren't having nothing, and if they was you was going, there was even some young ladies there, a group of girls, straight up girls, young women, pretty girls, you know what I mean, who came all the way from Cincinnati. You know what I'm saying? So it was fun talking to him. You know what I mean? Where we at in the chat? Todd French 600 says, B Bosh, what's up with you, dog? How you feeling, Todd French 600? Good dude, man. I like y'all fellas, man. Y'all fellas come in here, we talk boxing. We could agree and or disagree, but nobody gets disrespectful, man. We talk boxing, and y'all fellas, one thing I respect about fellas who come in this chat, y'all don't be coming and talking stupid shit about any boxer. Y'all don't be coming and saying so and so fought bombs, so and so got a glass jaw. So, y'all fellas keep it tall, man. I like that, man. What's the point of disrespecting these fighters, When fellas like Maxim Dadashev, Patrick Day, these guys lost their lives in the ring for our entertainment, you know what I mean? You check it, y'all fellas who be on that stuff dissing these fighters, man. Y'all fellas watching the wrong sport. And I could tell y'all fellas is some internet gangsters talking that greasy stuff, typing with your Twitter fingers. You know what I mean? But when these if you ever in the presence of these fighters' faces, y'all fellas gonna go shrivel up like shrimp in a hot stove. You know what I mean? In a hot pot of boiling water. You know what I mean? I know y'all fellas, man. Really and truly, man, I'm not even gonna say what I wanted to say because real recognize real. You know what I mean? And if fellas knew some people's backgrounds on these YouTube streets, whether they keep it gully or not, y'all fellas would be surprised the way they be talking on these YouTube streets, man. Todd French says, "What's up, my brother? What's up with you, Todd French? All is well, man. Just doing a couple vids today. Zaza Silly said, "You kill me with the quip of having to save up for a whole year." Yeah, man, to attend. Absolutely, man. Vegas, man, I went out there for 2 days, man, and my pockets had to be fat dogs. You know what I'm saying? You know, my peoples was out there already. They was annually going out what you call it, the Floyd events. This was in Florida, was fighting a Cinco de Mayo and Mexican Independence weekend in September. So they was going every weekend. You know what I mean? Making it not every weekend, but every time Floyd fought. But they'd go for a couple of days. Like they'd probably leave out of here from on Thursday, so they there on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Come back on Tuesday. Me personally, I'm not a gambler as far as gambling on the playing the slots or blackjack or playing craps at the table, man. I'd rather shoot four, five, six craps around the way. You know what I mean? I'm not going over there to be losing no big paper. You know what I'm saying? I came out there for boxing. But it was a good time, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's not no joke. Most of the fellas that I met out there, my peoples, they don't even go inside the MGM if they do watch the fight. fight is from a closed circuit type of place in Vegas. I think in the MGM, matter of fact, they have like a closed circuit room where you could go ahead and watch the fight. But I was in the big joint, dogs. I was in the big joint, man, with some good seats, and I got to see, you know, tickets weren't cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, be prepared to spend a stack on some tickets if you're going to them big fights at the MGM. You know what I mean? Yes, indeed. Top Fresh 600 says, "LOL, I definitely predict pain." Says it my best clever boy. Yeah, man. Mr. T, Clever Lang. Pain. I like that. Todd Fresh says, "Do you think Fury would clash? Has Do you think Fury will clash heads to open that cut to try and walk out with the decision? If he did that, he's retarded, man. He'd be retarded to do that. But anything could happen, especially if he tries to switch stances and fights from the southpaw stance. Then a headbutt might be inevitable. You know what I mean? Um, well, we shall see. Hop says, which Floyd Mayweather fight did you go, and how was the experience? It was Floyd versus Maidana, and my experience was excellent. You know what I mean? I knew time was ticking for Floyd Mayweather's last couple fights. Unfortunately, Floyd never fought on the East Coast in a long time. I think since like he fought in Atlantic City when he fought Arturo Gotti. That's probably like the last time he fought on the East Coast. You know what I mean? I still haven't seen Manny Pacquiao. I still would like to get that tick that off my bucket list. But unfortunately, a guy like Pacquiao, he don't fight neither anywhere outside of Las Vegas. These guys don't come to New York, Madison Square Garden, or they're not coming to DC, and definitely not. But yeah, man, I still would like to see Manny Pacquiao as well. You know what I mean? I'd like to see a lot of great fighters. I've seen B Hop. I'd like to see a lot of great fighters before they bow out gracefully out the game. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, the experience was excellent. One thing about Vegas, though, it's very expensive, man. A bottle of Deer Park water costs like $3. What do you call them? A fifth of Hennessy costs like $24. But here in the city in DC, it costs like $10. You know what I mean? So it's quite expensive over there, but it's a tourist attraction. It was Floyd Mayweather weekend. When I was going back to the airport, my flight was leaving out at 6 in the morning or 8 in the morning, and I probably had to check out my telly at like 6, 7 in the morning, and I was getting a cab, and there was a young lady who was checking out too, and she was going to the same place, and I said, "Man, no question, we could share, we could split the the cab fare." Got to talking to little shorty. She was from Chicago, and she came over there she comes to Las Vegas she told me she comes there for every Floyd fight, and her occupation, Shorty was a working girl. You know what I mean? You check it, Shorty was a prostitute. And like she didn't tell me in exact words like I am a prostitute. She just told me she's out here working. And she comes out here for the Floyd fights, and she's out here trying to chase that money. I told little mama, I ain't mad at you, girl. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? But I always say to myself, I don't know what you heard about me. You can't get $1 out of me. That 50 cent joint. You know what I mean? You check it. So look, man, and that's when it really hit me. Like Floyd Mayweather, when he fights in Vegas, he really is like the economy is really going up in the city of Las Vegas. You know what I mean? He brings a lot of revenue to the city that people are flying in. Hookers are flying in from all over the country to go to Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? To get some of that paper from the high rollers. You know what I mean? Just like in DC, I'm not talking about no hookers in DC, but the fights in DC, Jesus Christ, man. You should see the women who come out. My God. Man, be some beautiful young ladies, and these girls ain't coming with no man. Some of them be with a man, but for the majority, a lot of them chicks trying to get themselves a baller, you know what I mean? Trying to get themselves a high roller who come into these fights. Because boxing attracts high rollers, And high rollers attract fly women, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Uh, where we at in the chat? Um, Jonathan Downs, what's up, Jonathan? He says Fury's going to be way better shape this time around. Wilder better hope that same judge that saved him in the last time is around again. LOL. Todd French says yes, yes sir. Todd French says, yep. Unfortunately, I have short arms and deep pockets. LOL. But one day I will make it. Yeah, man. It's an experience. You know what I mean? Big shout out to Mr. Boxing Today, man. Mr. Boxing Today, great channel, man. I respect his boxing opinion, especially when it comes to heavyweight boxing. You know what I mean? And like I told him in my comment section, he had the first fight with Deontay Wilder versus Fury a draw. That's how I had it. He also had Joseph Parker versus Anthony Joshua a draw. That's how I had it as well. Also, Michael Hunter versus Povetkin. He had it a draw. I had it as well. But big up to Mr. Boxing because he's supporting boxing. He be going to these fights. He be leaving from where he's from in the Midwest, flying all the way to the West Coast, and them tickets ain't cheap. You know what I mean? So big ups to him. Them fellas supporting boxing, and that's a great way to support boxing. You know what I mean? By attending a live fight. You know what I'm saying? And prefer, hopefully, off your bucket list. Some people even traveled for Floyd Mayweather versus Pacquiao, man, from all different countries, man. They paid like 5 G's to sit up in the nosebleeds. Big ups to them, man. It's an experience, you know what I mean? Be more the BK, what up? Be more the BK. My man AP in the house says, what up, B? They getting that bag, bruh. I can't wait till tomorrow. Absolutely, man. And I'm happy they getting that bag. I want every fighter to get compensated well. And and it's funny how some channels out here, like I said, are talking about Wilder and them. They lost money already. They going into this fight in debt because they lost money with them Super Bowl commercials. A commercial costs like $5 million, and I don't even know if Fox even paid for those commercials. To be honest, why? Because Fox is the one broadcasting this fight in conjunction with ESPN. The Super Bowl was on Fox. Does Fox have to pay themselves $5 million to put a fight that they're promoting? No, they probably didn't even put a penny into promoting that fight as far as paying for the commercial slot. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's them lame ass channels that they not even from USA, but they know everything about Super Bowl commercials and how much they paid. But like I said, I haven't seen this. Like I said, I haven't seen any verification of Wilder and Fury or any publications said that they lost money because of the Super Bowl commercials. They must be getting their news from them hating ass channels that are probably based in USA, trying to make it look like Wilder's losing money. And like I said, it's a dangerous thing on these YouTube streets if you got a channel to be taking another man's word for face value without you doing your homework. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, fellas out here been put on an expose, been exposed. You know what I'm saying? Fellas had to walk the plank on some Captain Hook shit because they took another man's word, and at the end of the process of it, they just embarrassed themselves. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. One thing about B March Boxing, man, can't nobody vouch for me on my channel. No, sir. You know what I mean? Even if y'all fellas come in this chat and you be talking something outrageous, which I'm not too sure of, I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to do my homework on that. I'm not too sure about that. I don't know about that, Slim. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. Okay, where we at in the chat? Hop says Colorado kid here. Yes, indeed. We went to two of Mike Alvarado's matches, Provodnikov versus Rios 3. He lost them both, but still a good time. I was standing close to Andre Ward. Didn't bother him. Good boxing talk. Oh, you talk to Andre Ward? You had boxing talk with Andre Ward? Let me remember this fight. Provodnikov versus and Rios 3. Who's Rios? Hop, who's Rios? Oh, I'm bugging, man. Brandon Rios. How could I forget, man? Jesus Christ. One of them was a fight of the year. Hey, that provide. Oh, do you mean did Provodnikov fight Rios? I remember Provodnikov and Mike Alvarado went in Colorado, and Mike Alvarado got his ass handed to him by, oh my God, that was a thorough beating, man, in front of his home crowd. And that dude ain't never been the same since. You know what I'm saying? The man, or do you mean Brandon Rios versus Mike Alvarado 3? Where Brandon Rios handed Mike Alvarado, gave him a thorough beating in Colorado. I think that's what you might be talking about. Because Ruslan Provodnikov and Rios, they never fought. Oh, sorry. Let me read that again, Hop. Went to two of Mike Alvarado's matches. That's what I didn't get right there. Sorry about that. I get what you're saying. The Provodnikov and Rios 3. Yeah, you went to them fights and seen the hometown guy get his ass beat. Uh, I feel you, Hop, but I'm not gonna lie. Those were some good fights. Those are some damn good fights. Mike Alvarado in his hometown. It's unfortunate he lost, but those were some damn good fights. You know what I mean? Todd French says, "I know, right? Sometimes you have to do what you have to do." Yes, indeed. Todd French says, LMAO, yes. LOL, I'm trying to make a dollar out of 15 cents, a dime and a nickel, man. That ain't we all. That's what I be trying to do every day. Try to make a dollar out of 15 cents. Todd Fresh 600 says, I was able to talk to Bone Crusher Smith. He was awesome as well. Oh, that's what's up. Where'd you talk to him? What, you from North Carolina, Todd French? Hop says Alvarado and versus Podvatnikov and Alvarado versus Rio 3. Good boxing talk with fellow fans there. Like you were saying, absolutely. I get what you're saying now. You was both at both of Alvarado's fights, Rio's 3 and the Ruslan fight. You know, Alvarado looked like he was going to do big things in Colorado, man. Get a nice boxing scene out there, and I really enjoyed those fights as far as the crowd and them fights in Colorado, because that's one area of this country that you don't really see fights. And Alvarado was the guy bringing boxing to Colorado. Mike Alvarado from Colorado, man. I think that guy had a serious substance abuse problem too, if I'm not mistaken. That dude was on some hard drugs, man. But I don't know where he's at anymore. I think he got knocked out on his comeback. And that's the difference, guys. Let's keep things in perspective and listen to me clearly. Listen to me clearly. Mike Alvarado just took a loss to Ruslan Provodnikov, lost his WBO belt, and then he got his ass handed to him by Brandon Rios in the third fight. I don't even think that fight went 3 rounds. You know what I mean? What happened to Mike Alvarado after that? The man got relegated to fighting on Telemundo cards in Mexico. As a top ranked fighter still, he was on with Bob Arum. He was fighting on undercards that weren't even being televised for the longest, you know what I mean? Like this guy, like his opportunity or his road back to getting big fights was like, man, the man was crawling himself out of a hole, man, and the rope was just getting shorter and shorter. It was difficult for him to get back in position. But that's not the case when it comes to PBC fighters. Let's not get it twisted. Fellas take losses, but yeah, we still see him on TV. You know what I mean? They still get opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Mike Alvarado ain't get them type of opportunities. As a matter of fact, let me look at who Mike Alvarado fought. I know he had a devastating KO that was on a far ESPN undercard. You know what I'm saying? But I know he did lose after that. He did lose to somebody, and he was basically in like a no-win situation, messing with the man Bob Arum as far as trying to get back in position. You know what I mean? Just because he had 2 losses, and them 2 losses weren't to nobodies. You know what I mean? Yeah, so Mike Alvarado got killed by Arnold Barboza Jr. I covered that fight, matter of fact. I even did a video about it. From the Brandon Rios loss, he won one, two, three, four, five, 6 fights, and he still wasn't in position. Oh, he had also lost to Juan Manuel Marquez. That was a good fight too. He put Marquez last fight of his career, and Alvarado put him on the canvas, clean. You know what I'm saying? He floored Juan Manuel Marquez. You know what I'm saying? You know, but Mike Alvarado just, man, Bob Arum ain't look out for the guy, man. Man won 6 fights in a row and still wasn't in no contention for let alone a world title. But even just being on TV, you know what I'm saying? He fought on who's undercard Vasil Lomachenko versus Anthony Crolla. That's the last time he fought and got knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Zaza Silly says here in South Africa, only a few fighters even earn 100,000 US. Maybe 10 tops. It's closer to 25 to 50K usually. But like you said, boxing invites ballers. I still remember when Kevin Lorena fought Pianetta. Jesus Christ, man. But how long ago was that? Zaza Silly says, very few international fights here, but sometimes the Silverlands promote here. Yes, sir. Todd French says, yes, sir, I'm a retired military and he came to Fort Bragg. He was awesome. Would see I always would seem to think that Bone had a chance to Mike, but it seemed like he cruised in that fight. Yeah, he was just trying to hug Mike to death in that fight. That was a very that's type of fight. I don't even like watching that fight twice, man. That fight was whack. You know what I mean? But Bone Crusher did what he had to do. He ain't want to get knocked out. It was a unification. You know, he ain't want to get Razor Roddick. You know what I mean? You check it. Zaza Silly says, I meant Stephen Safari. Okay. True indeed. Hop says, people not you be snared Mike Alvarado today, but he gave us quality fights versus Prescott, Herrera, Rios twice, Provodnikov, and Marquez. Yes, it ended up poorly, but respect what he did. I respect what he did too. That 2012 fight of the year with Brandon Rios was a great fight. You know what I'm saying? And the man was a world champion. I believe. No, Rios was a world champion in 2 divisions. Alvarado just 140. You know what I mean? But look, man. Like I said, there ain't too many fighters that come out of Colorado, and Mike Alvarado put y'all on the map. So them fellas get enough respect from me. I like Mike Alvarado, man. You know what I'm saying? I like what he was bringing. I like any boxer who can put their city on the map. That's why I still like Tony the Tiger Lopez. You know what I mean? Great fighter. Tony the Tiger Lopez from Sacramento. He was like a franchise over there, like the Sacramento Kings at the Arco Arena back in the day. Them fellas would pack that Arco Arena just in Sacramento. He ain't even really fight nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? Julio Cesar Chavez fought guys like Rocky Lockridge. Man, Tony the Tiger Lopez was a fan favorite, and that's why I like Jose Ramirez, the kid out of is it Fresno? Is he out of Fresno? Them fellas. You know, is it Fresno he's from? Um, them fellas. Jose Ramirez, he packs he packs out his city. His city come to support him. You know what I mean? Small town, big following. One day I'm gonna make a video about all fighters that at least I could come up with, who were from a small town but had a big following, like Ray Boom Boom Mancini, Boom Boom Mancini, Youngstown, Ohio, or the what's the dude? What's that dude who beat Jermaine Taylor? White dude, the bar Kelly Pavlik, small town, big following. You know what I mean? Who else? Bud Crawford, Omaha, Nebraska, small town. He has a big following in his hometown. You know what I'm saying? You check it. That's what Tony the Tiger Lopez was, man. You know, Julio Cesar Chavez. Fought guys like Greg Haugen. You know what I mean? He fought Brian Mitchell in 2 great fights over there, man. Jorge Paez. I fought a lot of people in Sacramento. Them Rocky Lockridge fights were awesome. And I like what he brought to the table as far as Sacramento. Not really a hotbed for boxers, but he put him on the map. You know what I mean? Okay, Zaza Silly said it was last year. I forgot the month. I have to look. It was last year you went to that fight with Safari and Kevin Larana. Todd French says Razor was tough but went downhill after the second Mike Tyson fight. Yeah, those fights were war, man. Those fights were war, man. Those fights, man, both guys were never the same after that. Let's be honest. Mike Tyson went to prison after that. He was never the same after that. Razor Ruddock, he got knocked out in 2 rounds by Lennox Lewis. He wasn't the same after that. Hop says, speaking of the 303 Denver, I'm sure you remember Stevie. Oh man, before I even finished reading your comment, Hop, well you said Stevie. Of course I know Stevie from Colorado, man. Stevie Johnston, man. Stevie Johnston was a bad dude at lightweight, man. Stevie Johnston was a bad dude. Shane Mosley never fought him at lightweight. That should have been a unification. That might be a video to do right there. Fights we never got to see. Stevie Johnston was a bad MF, you know what I mean? He had them fights with that dude, Cesar, what was his name? Cesar Bison? Was it Cesar Bison? That was a tough dude. Those fights at lightweight that Stevie Johnston participated in, he'll forever be remembered because he was a dude from Colorado, had a very good amateur background. He beat plenty of fighters in the amateurs. You know what I mean? Plenty of fighters. I can't. It's not ringing a bell who he beat, but he was a good fighter, man. And I was a fan of Stevie the Little Man Johnston. You know what I mean? Fought versus Castillo. He lost his titles. You know what I mean? And then he had a draw. Both fights were controversial. He beat Angel Man Freddy. You know what I'm saying? The Cesar Bazan guy, those were some good fights. I believe the first man to beat him was Cesar Bazan, but he avenged that loss and got back his WBC 135-pound title. Absolutely, I remember Stevie Johnston. Nice one, Hop. Big up to Hop, man. That's why I like y'all fellas, man. Y'all fellas talk boxing and don't be coming with that corny stuff, man. Corny channels? Corny channels are represented by the corny commenters and the people in the comment section. All you gotta do is go to these lame channels, and these lame channels don't necessarily mean that they don't have thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers. No, no, no. All you gotta do is go to the comment sections of a live video and just look at the egregious stuff some of these people say. You know what I'm saying? About other channels, about wow. This is a new word out there. The new code word. You remember them code words like Pactard? What they used to call Floyd? A Flomo. What's the new code word? PBC fanboys. When you hear these channels say PBC fanboys, just know that ain't what that's not all they trying to say. There's a hidden code in them words, you know what I mean? The PBC fanboys. Pay attention, man. B Marsh trying to put y'all onto some game. Todd French says, OMG, Lennox was a beast. Absolutely, man. Lennox Lewis had the best, arguably the best. Man, I rate his career over Rocky Marciano's 48 and 0, 49 and 0. I give Lennox Lewis. He fought better fighters. You know what I'm saying? He fought better fighters in their prime. You know what I mean? Well, he ain't fight Mike Tyson in his prime. That's because Mike Tyson ducked him from 1996. That fight happened in 2002. It ain't Lennox Lewis' fault that Mike Tyson, now that he needed money, said, "Okay, forget about it. Let's fight now. I need some paper." Yeah, I remember when Mike Tyson, when he had paper, when he decided to even pay the man $4 million in a lawsuit, step aside money, and vacated his WBC belt in order not to fight the man Lennox Lewis. It ain't Lennox Lewis' fault when he got Mike Tyson in the ring. Yo, guys, I gotta go. That's the post office calling me. They got a package that. My bad, y'all. I had to take an important phone call with the post office. Let me read a couple of these comments before I skate up out of here. Hop says, Ron Loud, Denver associate. Absolutely. Zaza Silly says, big name fighters come here regularly. I remember, says Top French. Hop says, Jack Dempsey, the Manasseh Miller from tiny Manasseh, Colorado. Absolutely, man. Had a tough life growing up. worked his way up to become heavyweight champion of the world. The first Ring Magazine heavyweight champion of the world, matter of fact. Zaza Silly says, my keyboard broken. Todd French says, most definitely, they're creating these public fears to signpost for racism and fascism. Keep calling them out, B. Marsh, I will and I do. And I'm not going for that. You know what I mean? But yo, I got some more calls to make, man. B March Boxing, busy Friday before the weekend sets off. Let me give you guys another video later on coming through, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for everybody in the chat. Salute to everybody with that thumbs up. Wilder and Fury, 25 million apiece, plus pay-per-view profits. Salute to both of them. I'm gone. Peace.